So, you clicked this video expecting to learn how to play Junkrat. Luckily for you, I never disappoint, and I'm going to overload your brain with Junkrat tips for the next 5 minutes. Starting now. So the basics of the hero is that Junkrat is a 200 HP DPS hero just like most of the rest of the roster. He's mainly used for area denial and choke spam. He has a medium fire rate, incredibly high damage, and a small clip size. His primary fire shoots these really droopy ass grenades that either explode on impact with the hero or his shield, or they'll bounce off a wall and hit nothing. Now, Junkrat's first ability is a Caution Mine, which you throw, it does 120 damage, or it boops people, including yourself, so it's really good for getting Junkrat to high ground. One of the best uses of the mine. His other ability is a garbage ass bear trap, and you're not going to get any value out of it. Like, you'll put it down on the floor, 5 seconds later it'll be broken. Or 30 seconds later it'll still be sitting there, and nobody will walk into it. Seriously, trap is like a dog shit ability. The best use, in my opinion, is to leave it in the core of your team and hope the enemy is stupid enough to walk into it. If you do happen to trap a squishy, which is like, once every 3 games, you can do a combo to them because trap does 80 damage and your shot does 130, which 130 plus 80 equals 210, and you'll one-shot every 200 HP hero. Now his ultimate is Riptire, we all know this, and it's basically an RCXD from Black Ops, and it'll one-shot almost any hero. So the few biggest tips I have for Junkrat, number 1 is to focus tanks, focus tanks, focus tanks. Junkrat has really hard to hit shots, which is kind of weird because everyone makes him out to be like a super no skill, no aim hero, but his shots are hard to hit on squishies. So how do you compensate for that? By focusing tanks. By consistently dealing 130 damage to shields, you're going to stop the enemy tanks from progressing and make it really hard for the enemy team to do anything as a whole. The next biggest tip I have for Junkrat is to learn the combo. When I say the combo, I mean to shoot one shot, which deals 130 damage, and then finish them off with the mine, which deals at max 120 damage, meaning you have a 250 damage combo in your kit at all times. This combo is great for killing squishies, which again you shouldn't really be going for, but if the situation calls for it and you ever get too close to a squishy, hit them with a left click, a left shift, detonate that bitch, and then they'll die. Now, another big tip I have for Junkrat is to position based on the enemy team's composition. For example, if the enemy is running a lot of dive heroes like Winston, Genji, and Tracer, you don't really want to play too isolated because most of these heroes can beat you in a 1v1, or 2v1 since they're going to be running a coordinated dive. Or if the enemy is running a sniper, you don't really want to be playing high ground all by yourself, and then you get headshot by Widow, and then you're useless. So, if the enemy is running dive, play close to your team, maybe on high ground to bait out some abilities, but always have a mine for escape. Whereas if you're versing snipers, you almost always want to be playing low ground behind a shield, just pounding enemy tanks. Now, a common misconception on Junkrat, and this is, if you click this video, you probably don't believe this, is that this character is easily countered and should never be picked. Like, yeah, Junkrat gets screwed by a lot of characters, but he also screws a lot of characters as well. If you're able to avoid your counters like snipers or Pharah, you could easily just get value by staying alive and pounding tanks. No one likes to take 130 damage to the face, and pounding tanks can help deny space, meaning your counters won't have the space needed to kill you. Another common misconception about Junkrat is that he's a long-range character that should only shoot enemies outside of his LOS due to his bullet drop. Yeah, Junkrat has a slow projectile speed and bullet drop, but he's almost useless from far range, and most of his shots will do nothing besides land near your opponents. By forcing yourself to take shots from angles where you can't see your enemies, you'll hit way less shots and your value will be diminished. Junkrat gets value from constantly damaging tanks, so do your job and wins will come your way. Now, you might be thinking, how the hell am I going to get use out of Riptire? This shit gets broken in like one shot from every character. Well, with Riptire, you don't always need a 4K in a fight. If you're in a 6v6 fight, you just need to kill 1 to 2 people to give your team a huge advantage and increase your chance to win that fight tenfold. Now, be careful who you target with your ultimate. If your enemy's running a Mercy, you're either going to need to kill her, or you'll have to kill 2+ people to get value. Most of the time, if you tire someone that isn't Mercy, she'll res them, and your tire will get no value. In my opinion, killing the main healer is often the way to win fights. Now, if you use Tire in the late fight when enemies won't have cooldowns, you might have to go for that godly 4K play of the game Tire, but let's hope you use Tire earlier in the fight than that. The biggest mistake I see with Riptire is giving it a long LOS of your enemies. You want to give your Tire as little exposure to the enemies as possible, mainly popping it as soon as you enter your target's LOS. Now let's talk about counters. Who do you counter as Junkrat? Tanks. Almost all tanks, honestly. They have big bodies and they soak up your shots, so you get a ton of ult charge. You also screw Bastion with shield break and high damage shots. Another character you counter, and this is kind of not really too talked about. Junkrat kind of counters May. So Junk can break his wall quickly because 3 shots will deal 390 damage, which will leave 1 pillar with 10 HP, which is basically nothing. And Junkrat can also conk mine May off of May's freeze targets, meaning they won't get frozen as easily, and May will be sent to Narnia while your tanks are relieved of pressure. Now, who counters you? Well, we talked a little bit about it earlier, but you get countered by Pharah and snipers, as well as coordinated dive comps. You can't hit Pharah, and Widow and Hanzo are often too far away for you to hit. Additionally, dive comps will see you as an easy target, but if they're all uncoordinated, you can honestly kill one person that dives you or escape to a safe location using conk mine, which will be the most likely scenario in comp games. Now, who does Junkrat synergize with? I think Junkrat's #1 synergy is Orisa. Junkrat loves Supercharger, Junkrat loves Halt, Junkrat loves the stationary shield, and, you know, safe bunkery playstyle of Orisa, so that's just a really good synergy for him. Now, a great DPS to pair with Junkrat is Widow. Now, it might not seem like a synergy, and it really isn't, but having a Widow to pair with Junkrat can help cover his weaknesses, like Pharah or other snipers. Just be wary because both heroes are really susceptible to a well-coordinated dive. Alright, so that's going to be the end of the video. I hope you guys learned something. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, leave it in the comment section down below. I'll respond to it most likely. You know, I'm lonely, need something to do. It's quarantine time, got me down. But, seriously, leave a comment if you guys have anything to say. I'll probably be doing more of these videos. If you have any character requests, let me know. Up next will probably be more DPS heroes, since that's what I mainly play. If you guys are interested in my content, feel free to follow me on Twitch. I'm live probably 5-6 days a week. I'll leave that down in the description down below. So, I'm gonna head out, and I'll see you guys later. Peace.